Today, as you can see, I'm doing something a little bit different. Today I'm here in Havana, Cuba, and I'm sitting here with my friend, Mr. Lou. And so we're going to have a little chit chat about Havana, because as United States citizens, most of us don't have an accurate perception of life here in Cuba. And so we're going to take a couple minutes and talk with him. And for identity's sake, he asked not to be revealed on camera, so we're shooting at this angle here. But basically, just have a little nice talk and get his take on the revolution and Mr. Castro and the whole history of which, prior to coming here, I knew nothing about. So, Lou, I thank you for sitting down with me. So, if you want, you can just talk freely, and let's go back to, I guess, the 1950s. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned that Batista was the president. Yes. So, can you start with that and give the viewers a little bit of history, starting in 1950?
Well, before the revolution in 1959, all the presidents we had, they were more interested in steal and corruption than to do good things for the people, the Cuban people.
Right.
Education was not good. Medical cares were no good. The farmers had no land to work by their own, etc. And when Fidel decided in 1953 to fight against Batista in order to change all these bad things in Cuba, he didn't success in that day, in 1953. He was prisoner, and there was a trial. In this trial, he explained what he could do, what he could have done.
What he could have done, yeah.
Could have done if he would have won.
Would have won, yeah.
Okay. There is a book about it. Mm-hmm. Then, when Batista left Cuba in 1959, when Fidel won the war against Batista, he took from the banks, Cuban banks, $300 million.
So $300 million was stolen by the president as he fled the country. Where did he go? Do you know?
Well, he go to Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic, so not too far.
Another dictator.
So I take it sounds like during that earlier time, the Caribbean islands were a lot of dictators, like Dominican Republic. And
a lot of them.
Really? Wow. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
So, then, when Fidel won the war against Batista, in the first month of 1959, he visited the United States. Mr. Nixon was the vice president.
Yeah, Richard
Nixon. He had a meeting with Fidel. Fidel explained him what was his program to increase the level of all the Cuban people. When he said to Mr. Nixon that he will fight for the free education, free medical care,
healthcare, yeah.
Give the land to the farmers, and many other things. For women, for the same job, women earn the same salary like men do. Mm-hmm. The women pregnant, they have a special attention. One year.
So 1 year, like maternity leave of when they get to work, not work when they have their baby.
1 year.
1 year. Okay.
And every students, just right now, every students when they finish his university's studies or technical studies, they have a job.
They have a job.
The government offered them a job. Mm-hmm. So we live just right now much better than we lived before the revolution. Every government commit his mistakes.
Right.
Nobody is perfect.
Right.
Here in Cuba, there are many things to be done to better all the people conditions.
Right.
But there is the plan. There is the plan. And you have to analyze when you take a look about the situation in Cuba, what means the embargo of the United States against Cuba. It dangers so much Cuban people.
Yeah. So you're saying the embargo that's been imposed by the United States on Cuba has hurt the Cuban economy and hurt the Cuban people.
Cuban people.
Can you explain a little bit more of that for us?
Yes. For instance, Cuba cannot receive any loans from the financial institutions. Cuba cannot trade in US dollar. If the banks trade with Cuba in US dollar, the US government make them a fine.
Fine them, right? Penalty.
Penalty.
Yeah.
A bank, a French bank, Paribas.
Yes.
A few years ago, the United States put them a penalty.
Yeah.
$8,500 million.
8,500, so 85 million? 8,005 or 8.5 billion. 8.5 billion. Okay, 8.5 billion. See, fine. For doing business with Cuba and dollars.
And other countries.
Yeah.
That was in a list.
Yeah.
A blacklist.
Blacklist. So, wow, interesting. Now, let's fast forward. You mentioned earlier in our conversation that in the 1990s, how the communist kind of regime kind of left the country, and then that's how the Cuban peso and the CUC kind of came into mix. So can you go back? Let's talk a little bit about currencies with the Cuba peso and the CUC. Can you explain what that is? Because we know that there's two currencies, but how are they used now?
Yes. Well, in 1990. 1990. All our trade was with the Soviet Union and the socialist republics.
Socialist republics. So Soviet Union and socialist republics is what trade was with, yes.
So in 1990, the Soviet Union went away and the other republics, the socialist republics, again, the same.
Yeah.
So we have no trade. Only a few trade with other countries.
Yeah.
So the government thought that it will be useful to create a new currency, like the dollar, in order that Cuban people who receive dollars or foreign people who live here go to the stores and pay with this money. They have to change dollar to CUC. Cuba convertible.
So CUC stands for Cuba convertible.
Cuba convertible.
Cuba convertible. Okay. See.
And this is the way that the government can receive money, a strong currency, and to buy any other products that we need.
Yeah.
The rate of change, one CUC is 24 Cuban pesos.
24 Cuban pesos.
Cuban pesos.
Yes, just a few minutes ago when we were in the city in old Havana, the taxi driver, he gave us some old pesos, Cuban pesos. So I was looking at them, so I'm keeping them in my pocket now. But it's funny to see two different currencies float along beside each other, because in the United States, we have Federal Reserve notes. And so let's talk a little bit about the Cuban peso. You mentioned the cost of living and the wage in Cuban pesos. Can you talk a little about that for me?
Yes. The salary.
Salary, yes.
The average, no?
Yeah, average, yeah.
The average salary in Cuba is about 800, 800 pesos.
800 pesos,
800
Cuban pesos,
Uh-huh.
right?
The minimum is about 500.
500.
500.
Right. So just to give you an idea what that is, so if you take 25 divided by 500, that's about $20 a month in wage. And if you convert from CUC to Cuban peso, roughly. So if you're doing good, you're making closer to 1,000 Cuban pesos, and if you're not, you're about 500. So
Yes.
Okay.
And many people says, foreign people says that how could you live with 20 or 25 or 30 cooks monthly? Well, we don't have to pay education. We don't have to pay for medical cares, even heart surgery,
Heart surgery, yeah.
transplants.
Yeah.
Yes,
Now, is the quality of healthcare pretty good here?
yes,
Pretty good?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Cuba has just right now 60,000 physicians.
60,000 physicians, okay.
It means about 600 per 100,000 inhabitants.
Evidence.
It's a very high,
Yeah, it's a very good ratio.
a very good rate.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Now let's talk a little bit about just how the in the future, Castro, who's currently the residing president, he mentioned he's going to kind of step down in a year or so, and then the election process begins for the new leadership. Share with me, your thoughts on the future of Cuba. Where do you see Cuba going from where you've seen it go with the revolution to Castro's, legacy, and then the future? Where do you foresee Cuba in the next 5-10 years from now?
Well, we have to see Cuba in two ways, with the embargo and without the embargo.
So the embargo is really that serious of a deal?
Yes.
Okay.
So if the embargo continues, Cuba will increase year by year, but step by step.
Step by step.
Step by step.
Right.
If the embargo finishes next year, Cuba will increase more rapidly.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Cuba cannot trade in dollar. The investment, the United States government tried that no other people invest in Cuba. The ships who comes to Cuba cannot visit the United States harbors in 6 months.
Well, okay. Explain that again. Say that one more time.
Uh-huh. The ships.
The ships. Okay, the ships.
That
Right.
trips and bring products to Cuba
Yeah.
from other countries cannot visit
They cannot visit
the harbor, the United States harbor, in 6 months.
in 6 months. Wow.
This is a penalty.
The penalty. Yeah.
A penalty.
Wow.
Cuba cannot receive loans, I told you,
Yeah.
from financial institutions.
Yeah. Now, because I follow the alternative media world, and so right around the time that President Obama in 2014 kind of eased some of the problems with the communication wise between us two, I guess Russia, and maybe even China was probably doing some business or something, and trying to invest in the country as well. Do you follow anything about it's like Russia and China, their involvement here? Have they helped out with your economy at all that you know of?
Yes, they are helping us.
They're helping you?
Yes.
So no problems with those two countries?
No.
No, okay.
No problem.
That's
No
good.
problem.
Because I want to say that around the same time that the sanctions were lifted a little bit from Obama, that it was right around the time that Russia, I think they forgave a debt that you guys had with them, and then that kind of opened up the door to where I think the United States said, okay, we'll ease some things as well, so that we can be buddy along with Cuba, since Russia is now back in the mix here. So it's kind of interesting how that came about. Because if it didn't happen, I wouldn't be here today, being able to fly directly from United States to here. So definitely interesting. So anything that you might want to share that the United States citizens and other people who've never been here might find of interest or worth knowing about some good things about Cuba?
Yes. Well, I think that most of the Cuban people feel respect for all the Americans. American is a good, hard people working, something like that.
Right, hardworking people.
Hardworking people.
Right.
Hardworking people, and we respect this very much.
Yeah.
They like to educate their family as well as they can do.
Yeah.
Yes. So we are very happy that Obama permits that in 12 categories American people can visit us.
Yeah.
Cuba is the only one country in the world that no American citizen can visit Cuba.
Yeah.
The only country in the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Only country in the world.
Why? Well, ask the other governments.
All right. So as we draw towards the end of our conversation, I want to get your thoughts on DT. As we were talking about earlier,
Yes.
the new president, Donald Trump. Share with me your thoughts on him. Do you think that the relationships might improve, or share with me your personal opinion on DT, or Donald Trump, President Donald Trump?
Well, DT has said that he is making a revision of the relation between Cuba and the States. I hope that DT has enough mental amplitudes.
Mental amplitude, or what we're trying to say here, higher level of thinking.
Higher level thinking.
Higher level thinking. Okay.
Higher level thinking, and try to maintain what Obama's has done, and increase.
Right.
I hope.
We hope.
I hope
Right.
that DT will do it.
Right. Well, that sounds. I mean, we'll see. It's only been, as of today, it's only been a month of his presidency, and already it's
Yes.
already been very rocky and questionable. But yet, I believe the best is yet to come. So, Lou, thank you.
Okay.
For taking time to sit
No,
down with me
you're welcome,
and
you're welcome.
to talk with me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.